Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye, 6:22 to 6:23. But if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? On my walk today, I'm trying to escape the rain, but I was looking at I walked past this pine cone tree, and one, it's gorgeous. Two, I couldn't stop staring at it, so I went over to touch it, and it has like these little needles poking out from it. So I said, well, let me, Google it and see what they say about pine cones. But first I said, yes, it's a pine cone tree, but I don't know, like the needles, right? So that's what really got me. Let me try to seek some shelter because it likes going to rain. I won't make it back. Pine cone tree typically refers to either a pine tree itself, which produces pine cones as its reproductive structure, or a decorative object made to resemble a tree using pine cones, right? But that's just the AI overview, right? So pine cones are the woody scale structures that house the seeds of pine trees. They are a common sight in forests and can be used for crafts and decorations. So now when you go and you pull up pine trees, the genus Pinus, right? Genus Pinus, that's the medical, biological, scientific term for it. Pine trees are the type of evergreen coniferous tree known for producing pine cones. These trees are native to northern temperature regions and are found throughout the world. Pine cones are the female reproductive structure of the tree containing the seeds. And the scales of the pine cone open and close depending on environmental conditions, particularly temperature and moisture, to release seeds. So I said what stuck out to me was coniferous tree, right? So let's go over here and Google that. Okay. Don't rain yet. Let me seek some shelter. Coniferous tree. Coniferias are the large group of woody plants that produce seeds in the cone and have needle-like or scale-like leaves. That's what stuck out to me the most, was the needle-like leaves, because it's a leaf, but they're spiky. They look like needles, right? So the trees that bear the seeds in the cones, the vast majority of coniferias have needle-like leaves, right? So I said, all right, let's go further and just drop the tree and just put coniferias. Well, it doesn't come with coniferias, it comes with conifers. And it goes right back to the same thing. Conifers are a large group of woody plants that produce seeds in cones and have needle-like, scale-like leaves. So let's look at the word, right? Let's pull up the word and actually look at the word itself. And it says the adjective coniferous is used to describe conifers, woody evergreens. Now that stuck out to me because I remember hearing that before, like at jobs, where they're like, oh, this is evergreen, even though the item is not green, but means, which I'm going to get to, let me not get ahead of myself, right? So woody evergreens that have cones and needles rather than leaves. Coniferous forests and taigaias are full of these trees, including pines, hemlocks, junipers, and firs, right? Firs. Whenever you've seen a pine cone, you can be sure it came from a coniferous tree or shrub. right? So let's go to the word evergreen. Trying to get to this little bench with a covering so I don't get too caught out here. Evergreen can refer to several, oh, that's the AI one. I don't want that. Stays green all year, right? An evergreen is a tree or plant that doesn't shed its leaves in the winter, but stays green all year. So now I remember that term too, green, right? So I said, okay, these flies and these little creatures are like all over me. So let's click up green. Okay, can refer to the color or can describe tree. No, I don't want the AI. A color or a hue, an emerald between blue and yellow on the spectrum. I want it for, because I heard it in the terms of people. So I want it for that. So when I look up meaning, right? So this usually means inexperienced, new, or naive, right? That's the slang term for it, for the word green. But here it states a green person will be described by others as a consistent, calming, and a listening person who can anticipate and plan for the long term, right? So it goes into green in a few words would be empathetic, listening, attentive, slow, patient, understanding, stable, calm, relaxed, consistent. They have that there twice. Okay. Methodical, loyal, realistic, and cooperative, right? So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? So because evergreen, from when I learned from when I was working, was about something that's long lasting, that's always there all year round, right? So now when we look at the tree and it states that the pine cone tree is evergreen. Let me get to this shed. This shed. Let me get to this little bit of shelter before it starts raining. But it's like you have an evergreen standing, right? So this item is forever, right? Which means that it's in bloom all year round, like a pine cone, right? The pine cone tree. So then when I went to look up, because I'm thinking pineapple, because the pineapple, because when I was looking at it when I was walking, I was like, the pineapple and the pine cone look very similar, right? And so I said, well, let me go further and, find out some more about that. So we already went through the pine cone, right? And the fact that it's a tree. And I said, well, let's look at the pineapple since they look, they have the same name and they look just alike. So, it says the pineapple used to represent wealth and luxury due to its exotic rarity and is now considered a universal symbol of welcome and hospitality. So here, let's go further down. A large, juicy tropical fruit consisting of aromatic, edible yellow flesh surrounded by a tough, segmented skin and topped with a tuft, T-U-F-T, or stiff leaves. With a tuft of stiff leaves. The widely cultivated tropical American plant that bears the pineapple in its slow growing with a spiral of spiny sword-shaped leaves on a thick stem. So I don't think that it's American. I thought it was from South America. Well, I guess it's considered American. The pineapple Ananias camoseus, right? That's the biological term. Is a tropical plant with an edible fruit. It is the most economical significant plant in the family. So So I'm going somewhere with this. Just bear with me for a second, right? So then I said, okay, pineapple. Oh, I don't know if you can hear me. Pineapple, pine cone, pineal gland, right? So let's look that up. A pea-sized conical mass of tissue behind the third ventricle of the brain, secreting a hormone-like substance in some mammals. Okay, so what does it do, right? The pineal gland, a small gland in the brain, primarily regulates sleep-wake cycles through the production of the hormone melatonin. It receives information about the light levels from the retina and adjusts melatonin production accordingly, with higher levels during darkness and lower levels during the day light. Melatonin helps to synchronize the body's natural sleep-wake cycle, also known as the circadian rhythm, which makes me think about the heart, but I'm going to get there too. The pineal gland also plays a role in other bodily functions, including regulating female sexual development and possibly contributing to cardiovascular health. Okay, and then they break down the melatonin, the circadian rhythm, which synchronizes the body's internal clock, influencing sleep patterns, hormone release, and other daily bodily functions. Light sensitivity is sensitive to light and dark, receiving information about light levels from the retina via a neutral pathway. Potential functions, female sexual development, cardiovascular health. And here, okay, so they speak more about this. Well, okay, let's just simmer down, Marque. Okay, female sexual development. Some studies suggest the pineal gland may influence the timing of puberty. And cardiovascular health, melatonin produced by the pineal gland has been linked to potential productive effects against heart-related conditions. Okay, calcification. The pineal gland can calcify with any age, but this doesn't always affect its functions. Then it goes into disorders like can lead to sleep disturbances and other issues. Okay, so which brings me back to, how much time do I have? Okay. Which brings me back to Matthew 6:22. Now, that was the original King James version that I had read the first time. This is just the new King James version. And it says, do good to please God, right? Model behavior. Let's go down to 22. Okay, the lamp of the body. Here we go. So it's at the top. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? You cannot serve God. This is 24. 6:24 Matthew. You cannot serve God and riches. No one can serve two masters. And for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, right? Because we know mammon is down with, I believe he is considered the deity of riches. So let's make sure we get that right. Let's click that in here. Yes, wealth regarded as an evil influence or false object of worship and devotion was taken by medieval writers. Let's go to what it means in the Bible. Wealth, material possession, or pursuits of riches. It is often personified as a force that competes with God for a person's loyalty and devotion. Okay, Jesus uses this term in the Sermon on the Mount to warn against serving both God and mammon, highlighting the potential for wealth to become a corrupting influence. So the Aramaic version or origin would be which simply means wealth or profit. And in the Bible, in the New Testament, suggesting a power of entity that tempts individuals to prioritize material possessions over spiritual values. Matthew 6:24 discusses it like we just spoke about. Luke 16:9, unrighteous mammon is used, which can refer to wealth and acquired and non-inherently evil. And issues love of money. I like that other term, love over money. So okay, we got a little bit more time. So when I looked at all of that, I'm like, right? So now we got the pineapple tree, the pine cone tree that I saw when I was first walking down. And then the clarification of a pine cone tree and a coniferous tree, which is an evergreen plant, which means that it just continues to grow all year round with needle-like leaves, right? And then the pineapple, which is a juicy, amazing fruit with a thick, tough skin, T-U-F-T, right? But very juicy on the inside. The pineal gland, which is a gland that sits in the center of the brain and therefore helps with the circadian rhythm of the body, as well as producing melatonin, which also helps with the production of sleep, and also female reproduction, which we also find out that the pine cone tree is a female tree, right? And then what else did we look at today? The pineapple, the pine cone tree, pineal gland, Matthew 6:22 to all the way to 6:24, and the circadian rhythm, which is the heart, right? So now if we go and we look up heart, right? Or we can put in circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm, or internal clock, is the body's natural 24-hour cycle of physical, mental, and behavioral changes. It's controlled by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a small area in the hypothalamus, and is primarily influenced by light and darkness. Circadian rhythm helps organisms survive by coordinating their daily activities with the day and night cycle. And hypothalamus makes me think back to the pineal gland, because the thymus gland is over there, right? So when we look at that, when I say we go back to the heart, right? So cardiovascular functions. So your heart rate, your blood pressure, right? And all of this goes right back to the brain. So I'm gonna have to start walking back because I think it's gonna rain. So light and darkness, right? So when we focus on the tree that is a female tree, right, that reproduces the seed, in order for us to be able to have some type of center or balance, right? The circadian rhythm, which is the eternal clock, which also helps, there we go, which also helps produce, which also is assistance to all of this, how this is structured. So now when I look back to the spiky leaves and how I'm leading somewhere, I'm getting somewhere. I know it's like I'm all over the place, but I'm getting somewhere. So when I look back at the spiky leaves, which therefore is to help assist with the tree, right? So it's the leaves on the pine cone tree. So therefore that is part of protection, right? So when you have any type of thing that's growing on a tree, right, it has leaves. The fruit bears the leaves, right? So even when we look at the pine cone, the way that it's structured, right, it sits nestled on a branch, and the leaves that are poking out are the spiky leaves, right? And so now when we look back at the pineapple, their leaves, which I just noticed a tree that I was walking by that also look like a basket weave, where it's like it tuft. They are not playing with me today. Where it tufts over, like it tufts, like it reminds me of the same leaves that you would see in a pineapple, right? So, and when you look at the texture and the outside layer of the pineapple, it has the same exact context of this hardness, but it's protected, which also makes me think back to the fact that it's a juicy, fleshy, moist fruit inside, which also makes me think back to the heart, right? So And then we look at the pineal gland and the way that it's shaped. It looks like the shape of a pine cone because of the heavy density from the bottom of it, almost like an oval type of shape, right? And which, when you look at a pine cone sitting on a tree, the way that it's hanging down, it has the same exact oval shape. When you look at a pineapple, it has the same exact oval shape, right? That dense flat bottom. It's like a bit of a circular, but at the same time not as pointy as the top of the pine cone or the pineapple or the pineal gland, right? And when we look at the heart has the same exact oval shape as well. It's just that the orifices that are coming out of it, it almost reminds me of a pineapple, right? So when I go back to Matthew 6:22, let me read that again. The lamp of the body. The lamp of the body is the eye, therefore your eye is good. Your whole body will be full of light, but if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? You cannot serve God and riches. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Right? So I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because I am getting close to my time. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up. I love you. I got you. I got you. I do got you. I do. I promise. I love you. You got this. Let me go. I'm gonna make a second one.